Raging floodwaters sweep away all in their path while St. Louis awaits the cresting Mississippi. And about to leave for Ukraine, John Demjanjuk is ordered by Israel to stay put. This is the CBS Evening News. I'm Giselle Fernandez. Good evening. The Great Flood of '93 is just not going away. The mighty Missouri and Mississippi rivers continue to clash and swell faster and higher than expected. Tonight, it's St. Louis's turn to brace for the worst. Sandra Hughes is live just north of the city in Alton, Illinois, where sandbagging residents lost a big one today. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, you are correct, Giselle. They have been battling the Mississippi River here for weeks in Alton, Illinois, sandbagging the downtown area, trying to save it. But tonight, those man-made levees began to leak. And as you can see, water is now seeping into the downtown area, and the battle is over.
Battles were being lost all across the St. Louis area. Levees started breaking to the south along the Mississippi River. At this farm, first the silos went, then the house. The rising water threatened these people inspecting another part of the levee. The Coast Guard sent a warning to evacuate.
Okay, you guys go ahead and look it up.
Farmers were moving out as quickly as the water moved into the fields.
See that little star on the house? That's where the water line will be, at 49 feet. Now they say it's supposed to go over 49 feet.
Losing the house will be painful, but losing the farm could be devastating.
And we got, between the beans and corn, over 1,000 acres. And that'll all be gone now, you see. And that's the thing that'll hurt, really.
Houses in Missouri were quickly filling with water as well when levees were breached in St. Charles along the Missouri River. In the middle of one flooded St. Charles neighborhood, a family is waging war against the water, bringing in sandbags by boat.
We've got our pictures and we've got each other. And as long as we've got each other, we will survive.
But survival is tenuous for hundreds of homes along the Mississippi, Missouri, and River to Pear. People are praying the levees hold back the rivers, but as St. Louis nears a record crest, predicted at up to 51 feet, it seems the system is crumbling.
The earthen levees are not built to withstand 4 weeks of water pressure.
After fending off the water for all these weeks, ironically tonight, the residents of Alton don't have water in their homes. And that's because floodwaters have gone over the top of the water treatment facility. 73,000 people without water here tonight, Giselle.
Okay, Sandra, to what extent are the people in St. Louis, their homes, to what extent are they threatened this evening?
Well, tonight I talked with officials who are fearing that the River to Pear, which runs through the southern portion of the city of St. Louis, could top the levee there. And if that happens, that would flood 1,000 homes, and they would probably have to have many more evacuations.
Sandra Hughes in Alton, Illinois. Thank you so much. Tonight, Washington readies for the moment of truth, with prospects shaky for the president's deficit reduction plan. The final votes are expected this week, and nothing's a sure bet. As Wyatt Andrews reports, Mr. Clinton's trying to persuade fellow Democrats to do the right thing.
I feel compelled to vote against the plan.
With the president's budget already at risk, Democratic Senator David Boren dramatically announced today he will not support it. On the CBS News broadcast Face the Nation, Boren said the deficit reduction in the budget wasn't enough.
It's going to pass on $1 trillion more, even under the president's own admission, $1 trillion more added to the national debt in the next 5 years, and I just don't think that's acceptable.
Oh, well, that's no surprise.
The administration immediately said the budget would pass even without Boren.
Yes, it's going to pass. And it's going to be, as President Clinton promised, the largest deficit reduction in American history. It's going to create new jobs. It's going to have 200 specific spending cuts.
And it's going to be too close to call. President Clinton hit the phones this afternoon to make sure he doesn't lose any more votes and to resist Republican pressure to scrap this budget and start again.
I want people to know that there are responsible Republicans willing to sit down with the president if this fails. This is a bad package. It should fail.
The president now finds himself whipsawed within his own party between those who would bite less into Social Security and Medicare and those who believe Mr. Clinton hasn't bitten enough. Add to that the anti-deficit campaign of Ross Perot.
What are we trying to do? We are trying to balance the budget over time and pay down the debt and stop spending our children's money. Then say, does this do it? No.
The president plans a speech this week to sell this budget as the only one that can pass this Congress. A tough sell. It could be that all of the compromises that have been made to get everyone on board have just given too many senators enough reason to bail out. Wyatt Andrews, CBS News, Washington.
Secretary of State Warren Christopher is heading to Egypt tonight to try and resurrect the Mideast peace talks. Christopher is credited with brokering the latest ceasefire between Israel and guerrillas in Lebanon. After Egypt, he goes to Israel, Jordan, and then to Syria. Israel's most famous prisoner remained that way today. John Demjanjuk was not released from his jail cell near Tel Aviv as expected. Instead, he may stand trial yet again. Bob Simon has the story.
He spent 7.5 years in this cell. He'd packed his bags. He was leaving for the airport when the word came from Jerusalem, not so fast. Israel's Supreme Court today ordered a 10-day delay in Demjanjuk's deportation to the Ukraine, giving the government time to decide whether to press new charges. On Thursday, the court had acquitted the retired Cleveland auto worker. It found that KGB documents uncovered during the appeal cast reasonable doubt on the charge that Demjanjuk was Ivan the Terrible of Treblinka. The judges said there was substantial evidence pointing to his presence at Sobibor and other Nazi death camps, but they ruled that since he had not defended himself against these lesser charges, it would be wrong to convict him. But two Israelis, one of them a Holocaust survivor, challenged that decision, saying, "Charge him now."
For us, a Nazi is a Nazi. If he killed 1 Jew or 1,000, it doesn't matter.
Demjanjuk's son and son-in-law were at the airport when they heard about the delay.
We are absolutely outraged by the state of Israel allowing this to happen, and by allowing this madness to continue, they are in themselves participating in killing of an American family.
Demjanjuk is only the second man in Israel's history to be tried for Nazi war crimes. Adolf Eichmann, the architect of the final solution, was hanged here in 1962. Israel has always turned down opportunities to try minor league Nazis. It would not have extradited Demjanjuk for the crime of being a guard or Wachtman at Sobibor, but his acquittal was hard for some to swallow.
Many people felt uneasy with the fact that a man who was called by the court a Wachtman in Sobibor walks out free.
But Israel's Supreme Court earned widespread praise after Thursday's decision for putting justice over revenge. Besides, many Israelis said they've seen quite enough of John Demjanjuk. There's very little appetite in this country for another trial. Bob Simon, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, the latest on talks to divide up Bosnia. And our Bill Geist packs for vacation. There are no words to describe it. The newest atrocity of the Balkans War was reported today near a village in southwest Bosnia. Croat troops found the mutilated bodies of more than 20 Croatians, both soldiers and civilians. Croatian officials charged the victims were massacred by Muslim troops who raided the area last week. The two-day-old Bosnia ceasefire appears to be generally effective. It has given the war-weary a chance to take care of essentials and to hope for an end to the killing. Alan Pizzi is in Sarajevo.
Don't kill the girl, she's all we have.
The Polčići, the children's choir of Sarajevo, was practicing a message they'd like all the politicians wrangling over their fate to hear.
Don't kill the world, she's all we have, and surely is worth to see.
President Clinton reportedly wants to use U.S. air power to break the siege of Sarajevo. Mr. Clinton has approved a plan for American airstrikes on Serb gun positions around Sarajevo. The plan is expected to be put to NATO at a meeting in Brussels tomorrow, but UN commanders on the ground here are less than enthusiastic about it. They see airstrikes as an unnecessary escalation, not a solution. And the beleaguered residents of this city have heard too many promises of salvation go unfulfilled to have any enthusiasm about Washington feeling good.
President Clinton only promised something, promise, but nothing do.
I hope it will happen, but I don't believe.
Some threats do work. The noise today wasn't bombs, it was workmen cutting trenches to bring in natural gas. It's coming here from Hungary through Serbia, and if the Serbs cut off Sarajevo, Hungary will cut off Serbia. Whether it's pressure or the smell of victory, Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic seems to be trying to play conciliator at the Geneva peace talks, offering the Muslims what he called access to Sarajevo.
Oh yes, I would like to see Bosnia and Herzegovina, the Union of the Republics, as a first European country that is totally demilitarized. We don't need army if we are not going to fight.
But Sarajevo is still fed by UN food aid, and the Serb stranglehold on the city can keep it that way. So the rule here is take advantage of whatever peace there is and get essentials done while you can, because there's no guarantee tomorrow will be better, no matter what the politicians say. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Sarajevo.
In South Africa, Zulu gunmen went on a rampage last night, killing at least 35 blacks in the Tembisa township near Johannesburg. 14 other people were killed in another black township. More on the Tembisa killings from Barry Peterson.
It was the worst massacre in a year. Men, women, even a 5-month-old baby shot in an orgy of black against black violence.
They were heavily armed and stopped people in the street just behind me. Sporadic shooting happened.
The gunmen came from a nearby Zulu workers' hostel. The Zulus are angry at current negotiations over South Africa's future and have walked out of talks. The gunmen may have acted on their own, fired by anger and alcohol. They were still shooting today. Last night's target was a township controlled by supporters of the African National Congress, the ANC, which is cooperating with the white government to work out a new constitution. The ANC said the incident showed that white police couldn't or wouldn't protect blacks, and said it's time to put them under white and black control.
The demand that the security forces must immediately come under joint control has become irresistible.
A call angrily rejected by South Africa's president.
Because he suggests that black lives are less important to us than white lives. It is a blatant untruth.
The transition from apartheid to some form of democracy and then on to elections next year continues to fire emotions on all sides. And as last night's massacre proves, it is a road strewn with the dead and the promise of more violence to come. Barry Peterson, CBS News, London.
The Prime Minister of Belgium announced tonight that 59-year-old Prince Albert will succeed his late brother as king. King Baudouin died of a heart attack yesterday while vacationing in Spain. He was 62 and had ruled since 1951. Baudouin will be buried next Saturday in Brussels. There's a high-stakes battle raging in the quiet valleys of Connecticut involving Indians, the lands they lost, and a gambling casino. That's our Sunday cover this evening. Whose land is it anyway? 350 years ago, along the Housatonic River here in southwestern Connecticut, the land belonged to the Indians, much of it to the Golden Hill Pagusets. The tribe claims this land was taken from them illegally over the last 200 years, and now they want some of it back.
We're asking for federal recognition. Outside of that, for compensation for the land, we're looking for a certain amount of acreage and the money.
Chief Quiet Hawk, whose father is Indian and mother African American, leads the 80-member Pagusset tribe in this struggle. They have little to show that is theirs. What the chief wants is something like this.
Now, when do we bet?
Right now.
A 1988 law has allowed federally recognized Indian tribes to operate casinos like this one in Ledyard, Connecticut. They're extremely profitable, some bringing in as much as $20 million a month. Chief Quiet Hawk says his people deserve a piece of the American dream.
The casino's there. The idea that I will ignore it is absolutely impossible to ignore.
But until his tribe receives the federal recognition it is fighting for, a tortuously long process, he has few options. What he can do is apply a little pressure by suing the owners who live in part of the area he claims as the tribes, including portions of the state's largest city, Bridgeport. The Indian suit has snarled property rights in the courts and brought homeowners to an uproar. The people of Southbury dispute the Indian claim and especially resent Chief Quiet Hawk's tactics.
This is pure and simple blackmail.
Bob and Nancy Thompson were trying to sell their house so they could move to a new house with their daughter's family when they got sued.
Nobody's going to buy a house when there's a lawsuit pending in the courts.
Our entire life is just put on hold.
I really wanted to live on this piece of property. I mean, this was my retirement. We had big dreams for this place, and now all of a sudden it's got to go on hold.
The tribe's attorney says there's another solution.
We're saying to them, look, we don't really want to take your house. What we want to do is sit down and negotiate a comprehensive settlement with your elected officials.
We just don't think that innocent property owners ought to be held hostage so that pressure may be brought to bear on the state and federal governments to get the money, land, and recognition necessary for a gambling facility.
But Chief Quiet Hawk sees a bigger goal here, that by obtaining the land and the casino, he can finally right the wrongs of 300 years.
There's a possibility and a chance under the law because of who we are and what we own, that I can take my people from that into the better mainstream of life.
A federal court recently dismissed a case brought by the Indians pending their certification as a tribe. The Indians vow to continue their legal battle all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court if necessary. General Colin Powell, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, reportedly will receive an honorary knighthood from Britain's Queen Elizabeth for his role in the Persian Gulf War. Powell would be the first African American to be so honored. An unusual trial gets underway tomorrow in Sarasota, Florida. A teenager is suing her natural parents for divorce, parents she's never known. Diana Gonzalez has details.
14-year-old Kimberly Mays is looking to legally end a nightmarish ordeal that began 5 years ago. At the age of 9, the only child of Robert and Barbara Mays found out they weren't her natural parents. Kimberly was switched at birth in this North Florida hospital with another little girl, Arlena Twigg. When Arlena died of a heart defect, a blood test revealed the horrible mistake. Now Regina and Ernest Twigg are fighting to get their daughter back. A Sarasota circuit judge will hear Kimberly's unusual divorce case against her biological parents.
To the Twiggs, this child has been kidnapped. It took them a long time to find the child, but now that they found the child, what right does government have to say you can't have your child back?
Now Kimberly is fighting for her rights. She wants to continue her life with Robert Mays.
Because that's her father, and that's the only person she's ever known, her father.
A court-ordered psychologist and a child advocate investigating this case have both concluded Kimberly should not be with her biological parents. The judge will consider those reports along with the testimony he'll hear tomorrow. Diana Gonzalez, CBS News, Miami.
And tomorrow is the court-ordered deadline for a Michigan couple to give up their adoptive daughter to her natural parents. Jan and Roberta DeBoer met yesterday with 2-year-old Jessica's birth parents, Danielle and Kara Schmidt. The couples refused to say when the final transfer will take place. It's official, Mr. October is now a Hall of Famer. Reggie Jackson, whose postseason homers and heroics thrilled baseball fans, was formally inducted today at Cooperstown, New York. Although Reggie played for 4 different teams during his 20 years in baseball, he was inducted as a New York Yankee. Bill Geist is away now on summer vacation, but not to worry. Before he left, he sent us something special, a sort of pre-vacation postcard, complete with soundtrack. Wish you were there. Just kidding. And that's our news. Coming up on 60 Minutes, a look at Florida's controversial early release program for prisoners. And later, Bill Plant will be here with the CBS Sunday Night News. I'm Giselle Fernandez. Have a good week. Good night.
Experience CBS News.
Are we selling too many high-tech inventions to Japan? That's what the new movie Rising Sun says. Just fiction? Don't bet on it. Eye on America tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
This is CBS.